Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, Kenyans, and all of us across the globe. From wherever you are, I hope you're fine. We in Nairobi are fantastically well. So, welcome to The Perspective, the corporate perspective, bringing to you political matters, financial matters, economic matters, delving deep into these issues affecting our people so that we bring information closer home, so that we help people make decisions. Today, I want to talk about something which is important. Of course, not for me, but for governance in this country. So, and it is about communication. Because the president has admitted that there are issues of communication in his government. And I understand him, I agree with him 100%. He is the only messenger for his own government. There seems there's nobody else who can pass message in a good way except himself to the people. And that is not good, for his government. Obviously, it doesn't do well, doesn't do him favors. He needs to have people who can pass messages, can can come up with an agenda for government and make it be the talk of town for quite some time. All right, which is guided by facts, legality, and honesty. Because now what we normally have in this country are rumors propagated by pronouncements which have no basis. And that's the challenge that this government has faced since it came to power. Now, this is my advice to them. There is one single office which is very important, the office of the government spokesperson. Those who have lived long know that this is one of the vehicles that, you know, help in transforming a country. It helps in bringing the people together. It helps in dealing with the issues that are bedeviling the people. And it helps in bridging the gap between the people and the government through communication. Remember, communication alone is very important even in the corporate world because it sets the employees and the management in the same path of success, in the same path of tranquility, in the same path of synchronization of ideas. And that is what informs decision making going forward. So for me, the failure in this government is simple. It's simple and simple. The failure lies squarely at the office of the government spokesperson. The office, not the holder, but the office of the government spokesperson. How? It is the role of the office of the government spokesperson to communicate on behalf of all government ministries or government parastatals. You know, anything that the government wants to communicate, it must and has to be communicated through the office of the government spokesperson. But then, it is not for government to tell them what to do. It is their responsibility as people, as an office which is run by the exchequer. They must understand their roles very well. And their cardinal role is to listen to what the president and the government generally is saying and coin messages and come up with an agenda that speaks to the direction that the country is taking through the speeches of the president, through the speeches of or the declarations by the cabinet. That is essentially what the office of the government spokesperson should and must do. For example, very recently we had the declaration by the president through the presidential decree to completely do away with vetting of people from the northern frontier during and when they are getting their identity cards. You know, I am assuming that it is the best thing that the government would have done. But looking at the negativity it generated, the acrimony it brought about, the issue is just simple. It was meant to be about the northern frontier, not Kenya as a country. So if the office of the government spokesperson are up to the game, they would have taken up that matter and made it a national drive for registration for people to get identity cards. That should have been the message from 1 week before the president did the decree up to the next month or two. The office of the government spokesperson should have taken that matter to themselves and made it a national agenda that should be done in the next 2 months. And that's how you change people, and that's how you change government, and that's how government policy must be undertaken. It cannot just be the president is making a speech and everything that the president says is just thrown under the carpet so that in a few months it looks like the president was telling lies, you know? So that is not important and that is not fair. It is the office of the government spokesperson that should take center stage and give Kenyans the agenda of government in the next 1 month, in the next 2 months, in the next 3 months, in the next 4 months. And of course, they should do so with courtesy. Their work is to inform Kenyans. They should speak to Kenyans, explain to Kenyans, convince Kenyans why a certain project is going to be undertaken. What are the benefits of such a project? That is the work of the office of the government spokesperson. And for your information, that office is funded by the exchequer. So they cannot give excuse about underfunding or what, because it won't make sense. That will not sell. The truth is that that office is the one that derails or is the one that promotes government agenda, depending on how it is undertaken, depending on how it handles these affairs. That is very, very important. It is not an office just to have positions for the sake of having positions. And the holders must understand that it is an office that bestows upon them the responsibility to speak on behalf of the entire government. When Kenyans have reservations about different issues the government is undertaking, it is the work of the office of the government spokesperson to deliver to Kenyans and ensure Kenyans understood what are the underlying issues. What is the meaning of what the government wants to do? That is extremely important. And therefore, it is my submission that that office must up their game and truly become the government spokespeople, because that is the only way we will redeem this government from shame, from shame, from shame, from shame. Right? It is extremely important. This shall and she, let us assume it is the best. We are assuming it is the best. What would have the office of the government spokesperson done to ensure that people are in it and for it? They are actually the people who should be listening to the people, because they are communications people anyway. They are journalists. They understand their jobs. They're the people who can relate and collect information from the wananchi, from the citizenry, and then compile reports on feedback to government for better action. That is absolutely what they must do. You know. Now the chiefs, the regional administrations should just be there to complement them. But essentially, it is the office of the government spokesperson that should be there to speak to wananchi on matters concerning Kenyans and on matters governance that the government is undertaking. We cannot just have such a dormant office of the government spokesperson. Very ineffective. We shouldn't do that. I am challenging that office to rise up and up their game. We need to see them communicating. We need to see them selling government agenda. You know, they must prepare Kenyans what is going to happen for the next 6 months. You know, that is what we call government agenda, and that is the work of the office of the government spokesperson. Their work is not to defend. It's not to defend, but their work is to provide factful information, truthful information on the steps the government is taking in alleviating poverty. All right? In emancipating the masses, you know, from the yokes of disease. That is the work of the government spokesperson. So I think I have made my point, and that's all for now. Thank you very much, and God bless you. Before I leave, please just hit the subscribe button. Let us grow together. Adios.